She knew before you said a word, before you walked in the room, she already knew. And the worst part, she can't even tell you how she knew. What you're about to hear is not pop psychology. It's not advice from a relationship podcast. What I'm going to show you in the next 10 minutes is the actual science behind something men have been misunderstanding for centuries, what women call intuition. By the end of this, you're going to understand something most men never figure out, no matter how many books they read, no matter how much dating experience they have. And I'll tell you this now, the most important insight in this entire video comes near the end. Most men hear it and nod along. A few actually get it. Stay with me. Here's the thing about female intuition that nobody talks about. It's not magic, it's not mystical, it's not some spiritual gift passed down through generations, but it's also not nothing. What women call intuition is actually one of the most sophisticated psychological detection systems that evolution ever produced. Think about that for a second. For thousands of years, a woman's survival and the survival of her children depended on her ability to read the men around her. Not just the obvious signals, not just what a man said, but what his body did when he said it, what his voice did under pressure, what his eyes did when he thought no one was watching. Women developed an unconscious radar for authenticity. They can't always name what they're picking up, but they feel it deeply, physically, in a way that bypasses logic entirely. And here's what makes this dangerous for most men. You can't fake your way past it. You can't think your way past it because it doesn't operate at the level of words. It operates at the level of energy, of micro expressions, of timing and tone, and the 1,000 tiny signals your body sends before your brain even finishes forming a thought. This is what most men never understand about attraction. Let's go deeper. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine this. A man walks into a room, let's call him Marcus. He's well-dressed, good-looking. He's been preparing for this dinner for 2 days. He rehearsed what to say. He chose his outfit carefully. He told himself, tonight, I'm going to be confident. He walks over to the woman he's been interested in for months. He smiles. She smiles back. And within 60 seconds, she's already made an unconscious decision about him. Not because of what he said. He barely said anything yet. It's the way he moved through the room, whether his steps had weight or whether he was almost tiptoeing as if apologizing for taking up space. It's whether his eyes searched her face for approval the moment he approached, or whether they simply rested on her with calm certainty. It's whether his first words came from the chest or from the throat. She felt all of this, she registered none of it consciously, she just knows how she feels being near him. And this is where most men get it wrong. They focus everything on content, what to say, what jokes to make, what stories to tell, while completely ignoring the channel the content is traveling through. The channel is your body, your breath, your presence. And women are reading that channel constantly, at a level far beneath your awareness. What to do instead? Stop performing, stop broadcasting. The moment you walk into a room trying to seem confident, she can feel the effort. And effort is the opposite of confidence. Real confidence doesn't try. It just is. It takes up space without asking for permission. It speaks at a pace that assumes it will be heard. The next time you're with a woman you're attracted to, try this. Slow everything down by about 20%. Your walk, your gestures, the pace at which you reach for your glass. You'll feel awkward doing it, but she'll feel something entirely different. Here's something that will genuinely surprise you. Research in behavioral psychology has shown that women are, on average, significantly better than men at detecting deception. Not because they're more intelligent, but because they process more sensory information simultaneously. Where a man's brain tends to focus on what someone is saying, a woman's brain is simultaneously tracking vocal tone, facial microexpressions, body language, and contextual inconsistencies. She's running a background process constantly that you don't even have access to. And what does this process look for? Congruence. Not honesty in the moral sense, congruence. The alignment between what a person says and what every other signal in their body is communicating at the same time. Imagine this scene. A man and a woman are having coffee. Things are going well, or at least he thinks so. He leans forward and says casually, "I'm not really looking for anything serious right now. I just enjoy meeting new people." She nods, she smiles, she keeps the conversation going. But something just shifted, because when he said those words, his jaw tightened slightly. His eye contact broke for just a fraction of a second. And the casual was just a little too deliberate the way someone sounds when they've rehearsed something to sound unrehearsed. She doesn't know what she picked up. She just knows she doesn't fully trust this man anymore. And this is where things change. Most men think women are complicated, that they send mixed signals, that they're hard to read. But often, the confusion runs the other way. He's sending mixed signals between his words and his body, and she's the one trying to reconcile them. What to do instead? Say fewer things that require performance to deliver. The more you have to manage how something lands, the more likely her radar is going to flag it. Real words, even imperfect ones, carry a frequency that rehearsed lines never do. She doesn't need you to be smooth, she needs you to be real. There's a certain kind of man who says the wrong thing all the time, but still makes women feel completely at ease. And there's a man who says all the right things and somehow never earns real trust. The difference isn't the words, it's the congruence behind them. This is the part most men never hear about. Psychologists call it the thin slice judgment. It's the idea that humans and women in particular can form surprisingly accurate assessments of another person's character from extremely short windows of observation. We're talking seconds, not hours, not dates, seconds. In one famous study, participants were shown 3-second clips of professors teaching with the sound turned off and asked to rate their effectiveness. Their ratings matched the end of semester student evaluations with remarkable accuracy. 3 seconds of silent video, and they could feel who the good teacher was. Now imagine what a woman is doing when you first meet her. She's not consciously evaluating you. She's not running through a checklist. Her brain is doing something far more elegant, far more ancient than that. It's asking a question that goes back to the very roots of human survival. Is this person who they appear to be? And she gets an answer fast. What happens next is what most men never notice. The decision isn't final. It can be updated, but it creates a frame, an interpretive lens through which everything you do afterward gets filtered. If the first impression built trust, she'll give your awkward moments grace. If it didn't, even your best moments won't land right. This is why presence matters more than almost anything else in those first moments. Not energy, not charm, presence. The quality of actually being here, in this moment with this person rather than somewhere in your own head, managing yourself, running the performance. Women don't fall for men who are impressive. They fall for men who make them feel seen. And you can't make someone feel seen if you're too busy watching yourself. So is female intuition real? Yes. And no, it's not a sixth sense in the supernatural meaning of the word. But it is something remarkable. It's the accumulated processing power of thousands of years of evolution expressed as a feeling, a knowing, a quiet certainty that arrives before the reasoning mind even gets involved. And here's the truth that reframes everything. The men who understand this, and I mean really understand it, not just intellectually, but viscerally, they stop trying to beat the system. They stop trying to engineer attraction. They stop rehearsing and optimizing and performing. They realize that a woman's intuition isn't an obstacle, it's a mirror. It reflects back exactly who you actually are when nobody's watching, when you're not trying, when the mask is down. The most attractive thing you can offer a woman isn't a better version of the performance. It's the end of the performance altogether. That's the truth most men never sit with long enough to let it change anything. Most men will hear everything I just said and still miss it. They'll walk away thinking about what to say differently, what moves to make, how to seem more present, more congruent, more real. And that's exactly what this isn't about. A few will understand. And those few will notice something shift not in how they approach women, but in how they move through the world, in how they feel about themselves when no one is watching. If this hit different for you, if something in here landed, hit subscribe. Because what I cover next week goes even deeper into the psychology of attraction, presence, and what women are actually responding to in the men they can't stop thinking about. You don't want to miss it.